As shown most clearly by his recent comments in the media, Spanish journalists are now openly expecting the German to stay quiet because they believe Szczęsny doesn't deserve what's being done to him. Right after returning to training, the Barcelona captain began making media appearances. In several interviews, he clearly stated that he wants to play as soon as possible, that he's full of energy and in better shape than ever, completely, ignoring Szczęsny's presence as if there was no competition at all. And whether by coincidence or not, just as the rivalry with the Polish keeper became the focus of attention, he suddenly decided to bring up memories from 10 years ago, when he pushed out his main competitor from the starting lineup out of fear of losing his spot. Most people see this as a clear attempt to pressure the current coaching staff. "Here's what happened," he said. "I was thinking about changing clubs. I wasn't happy with my role at Barcelona. I wasn't playing in La Liga, only 25 or 28 games per season, and the cup matches just weren't enough. I wanted to be the undisputed number one." And while he didn't get everything he wanted, the club did change the backup keeper, so his pressure worked. From that moment on, he's had almost no real competition. And there were definitely times he should have had it, because he wasn't always fully reliable between the posts. Now, the fact that these comments are even happening is causing strong reactions in the Spanish media. "You know what Ter Stegen should do?" they're saying. "Just stay quiet." He's been giving more interviews lately, repeating the same things, like he's trying to push the coaching staff into making a decision. It's obvious to them, he wants to play. One journalist from Marca added, "Szczęsny doesn't deserve what Ter Stegen is doing to him. Would it be fair for Flick to drop Szczęsny for Ter Stegen in this situation? He's out of rhythm. I don't understand all these media appearances and the constant messaging that he's ready to play right now." Meanwhile, Wojciech, despite playing brilliantly, continues to show class and professionalism. And that's something his rival can't claim right now. At the latest press conference, Szczęsny said, "I came here to replace Marc, but I absolutely won't have a problem if he comes back and takes the spot again. If the coach decides that the captain returns and plays, I understand that. Marc is a very good goalkeeper. There's no point in comparing us. He's coming back after a serious injury. The truth is, when he's fully recovered, there won't be many goalkeepers at his level. And that contrast in character hasn't gone unnoticed." Local journalists are clearly frustrated by the way Ter Stegen has been speaking publicly. As of now, Flick isn't locking in the number one spot. He's doing what a good coach should, keeping competition alive. The real challenge might be the fact that both keepers are natural leaders. Each one wants to be the starter. And even though there's mutual respect, they're both ready to fight for that position with everything they've got. The Polish keeper has often been in situations where he had something to prove. And it's clear, competition only pushes him to grow. You can question the class of these media tactics, but you can't really blame the German for being nervous. Szczęsny has firmly taken over as Barca's starting goalkeeper, and he's delivering exactly what the team has been missing lately: stability and confidence. Without a reliable keeper, it's tough to compete on all fronts, and not only is Wojciech not getting in the way, he's often the one saving the day. He also leads in clean sheets. In 23 matches, he kept 12 clean sheets and conceded just 21 goals. For comparison, Peña conceded 25 in 22 matches and managed only 6 clean sheets. Yes, because of the loss to Dortmund, Szczęsny didn't break the record for most consecutive wins. But for the first time in his incredible career, he will play in the Champions League semi-finals. Szczęsny had a tough start at Barcelona, struggling to adapt tactically and lacking match fitness. Spanish pundits questioned if integrating him mid-season was worth the risk. While his quality was never in doubt, many asked why Coach Flick waited so long to give him a chance. Over time, Wojciech's confidence grew, and he began fixing the issues left by Iñaki Peña. He didn't make any obvious glaring mistakes, but he didn't offer any edge either. Too often, it felt like every shot against him turned into a goal. Peña never really had a match where he stood out as the hero. Sure, there were solid performances, but the feeling lingered. he could have done more. The defense couldn't count on how he'd react. He struggled with crosses, looked jittery at times, and sometimes he just lacked confidence. Wojciech Szczęsny's true value only became clear after the second Champions League match against Benfica. That was the moment people realized he had fully adapted. He had a score to settle in Lisbon, and he absolutely delivered. Barça were a man down for 20 minutes, but still kept a clean sheet. Why? Because Szczęsny made 8 saves that night. Phenomenal. He was brought in as a short-term fix. Now, he's likely staying another season. Sources say it's only a matter of time before his contract is extended. But it's not just about what he does on the pitch. It's his leadership, his chemistry with teammates, and the professionalism he brings to the locker room. Even after mistakes, he never crumbles. 2 minutes later, it's behind him, and in the dying moments of a game, he's making the decisive save. Wojciech's resurgence isn't just about chasing trophies, it's not just a fairy tale. It's about claiming his place among the world's best goalkeepers. Despite his achievements, he's often overlooked in the rankings. Names like Sommer, Keylor Navas, Emiliano Martinez, they come up first. But Szczęsny? More consistent than most, yet barely mentioned when people list the best of the 21st century. He's played for some of the biggest clubs, but never had that one defining success. That one magical run. He still hasn't won the Champions League. That could change everything. And Barcelona. It offers a level of visibility only a handful of clubs in the world can match. If not here, then where? Especially now, as people begin to whisper, Szczęsny might just be the best in the world right now. So much has happened in his life recently. The Amazon documentary meant to chronicle his retirement might now need a few extra episodes. Because this story, it's starting to sound like fiction. Let's lay it out. He comes out of retirement. For the first time in his career, he joins a club still fighting for a treble in mid-April. He struggles at first to earn his spot. Then once he's in, he faces the threat of losing it, partly due to Peña showing up late to a team meeting and possibly clashing with the coach. And then, Wojciech wins over the fans. He gets his own chant. They call him the Tanner. Since he's been in goal, Barça hasn't lost in 22 games. If this guy ends up winning the treble, it'll go down as one of the most improbable stories in football history. And now, leading a team chasing 3 major trophies, he's not just rewriting his own legacy, but also proving that resilience, experience, and quiet confidence can still triumph in a game that often favors flash over substance. Thanks for sticking with us until the end. What do you think of this story? Let us know in the comments. Do you love it or not really? Until next time I see you, take care of yourself.